since I drank something.
Good afternoon. Before we begin our council meeting, I would ask that if you're able to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. It is now 4:30 sharp. Today, Wednesday, February 21, 2018. We shall begin our council meeting with a roll call, please.
Brad Hint.
Here.
Sean Brewster.
Here.
Pete Hamill.
Here.
Greg Gills.
Here.
Tom Eggers.
Here.
Thank you. First on the agenda is public comments. Are there any public comments at this time? No. Just checking with the public. Okay. Thank you. Moving into the consent agenda, I would like to point out a couple of things. In the minutes on the February 7 minutes of our budget workshop, we would like to amend those minutes by adding, and I spoke to Ange, but I'll share with you as well. On page 2, that first paragraph, it states, Beckman stated that the fire department isn't truly anticipating to expend the $300,000 in fiscal year 2018-2019, but planning ahead so the funds are available when they need $600,000 for the tanker in fiscal year 2019-20. With that being said, it was the consensus of the council to remove $300,000 for a fire truck from the emergency services depreciation budget and to look into long-term financial planning for emergency services. We are going to add, as we had discussed, that we did give the fire department a go-ahead with the pursuit of replacing that tanker. So even though the expenses won't come out this next year, the go-ahead was given to start the groundwork of looking into the process of replacing that tanker. Questions?
That's actually an engine, a pumper.
Pumper.
Should be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So should we change tanker to pumper?
Yes.
Thank you. Got that? Okay. Then, in regards to the mayor's appointments to boards and commissions, thank you to media in helping us get that word out there. We have had people stepping up. Melissa Remy will be appointed to the Trails Committee. Allison Cook will join the Park and Recreation Committee. Other than that, any questions regarding the consent agenda?
Just procedural. I don't know if that's really a procedural question, but like these, where I have these, they're listed in the FYI section with the documents in terms of accessing it. It really should be up by the minutes. The minutes of the budget workshop are down below, but they really should be part of which.
I got you. I know what you mean, like where we access them in our Google Drive.
Yes.
File.
Yes,
Okay.
and which, I mean, we read those, typically it's committee reports and stuff like that, but
Sure.
these really should be up by the minutes of our regularly scheduled meeting, I think.
Okay.
Just so we're, yeah.
That made me think of something else I need to bring up later. Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Any discussion? If not, then is there a motion to approve number 2, the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Since there has been no discussion further, may I have a roll call, please?
Hamill.
Aye.
Gills.
Aye.
Brewster.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Thank you. Going into new business, we will have a 2017 pool report from Jake Kerr. We appreciate you coming and Sean asking for this information so that we can start to plan ahead for our next pool season. Let's all think positive.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me. As you guys do have a sheet in front of you that has about a year-to-year comparison on front desk revenue, concession, daily attendance, total season revenue, and then since I've started, I've put the membership as well as our average attendance on there. As you can see, probably the biggest discrepancy that we've saw this past year was our daily attendance. That was down quite a bit. We did see some extra revenue in memberships and swimming lessons compared to last year. So, and with us moving the time back 1 to 8, now you can see the average attendance at 1:30 as well as our 7:30. So.
Wonderful. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, so, but that's basically it. As it's going ahead, there's no plans to change anything for next year, or excuse me, this upcoming season. We're seeing good, obviously lifeguards has been an issue, but we're seeing that become better since I've been able to teach the classes, and we do front most of that money for the kids to take that class because that can deter some of the kids that can't financially support that class. So
And this year we might get lucky with some of the Sibley kids because their pool will be closed.
correct. Yes, we do have some applications coming in from Sibley since they will be closed for the season. So
We might see a little increase there maybe.
yeah, so the only thing that we are planning different is possibly I discussed this with my board, is possibly doing obviously like Amazon, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a little benefit. So we're planning on possibly doing, it's still in works and stuff, is possibly doing a benefit if you're a member to be able to come to the pool 10 minutes early and get your spot early on a seat before people with daily and punch cards and whatnot. So they can't enter the pool, but they can get their spots early. So that would be a benefit of being a member. It wouldn't be any extra cost because they're already there 15 minutes early, our lifeguards are. But that's just an extra benefit that we're looking to do on weekends. The reason that we don't want to do it on the whole week is because of swimming lessons. We have swimming lessons from 11 to 11:50 sometimes. So they wouldn't be able to do that. So it's more of a weekend kind of membership deal. So that's something that we think would be great for our members, and it's kind of a thank you. And so,
Nice to have a perk.
yep, little nice perks since everyone gets them. So, so
What do you anticipate being an opening date? I know it's really premature. to think
Um,
about
yeah.
what you're shooting
Next
for.
Friday?
All right, I'm trying to be positive.
So usually-
Warm weather.
yeah,
Saturday.
due to training and everything like that, we usually do the day after Memorial Day because during that week, and that's when I'm training our new lifeguards. So based on school and everything else that kids have going on, that's usually works the best to get every kids there,
Sure.
get all the kids for my training class there at every
Okay.
time. So,
Just curious, just to
yep.
see if that's something.
And we do have that on our website too, that is the tentative date. Is it? Yep. So,
Great. Thank you, and thank you for doing the attendance, checking to see what the averages were. It gives us a better idea, so. And that was
absolutely.
working out, staying up until later. I can
Yep.
see that an average of 11, that's nice to know.
Yep,
These people
so.
are taking advantage of that. Wonderful. Thanks, Jake.
Is there any other questions? All right.
All right.
All right. Thank
so
you
much.
guys.
Think summer, not even spring. Okay, number 4 on our agenda. This is more of a housekeeping matter. Considering by resolution accepting infrastructure and uses in Floyd Industrial Park. Public uses. Any other explanation that would be needed for that? I don't think so. It's just kind of a housekeeping paperwork we have paper trail.
After final process of the planning.
So is there a motion to approve by resolution accepting infrastructure and uses in Floyd Industrial Park?
So move.
Support.
Got it. Thank you. And a roll call, please.
Keels.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Brewster.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Thank you. Number 5 on the agenda is in setting the date and time for a public hearing on Floyd Industrial Park. We would like to set that date for March 7, 2018 at 4:30 in the afternoon. That is our next council meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the public hearing date and time?
So move.
Support.
Thank you. And a roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Brewster.
Aye.
Keels.
Aye.
Wonderful. Number 6 on our agenda, we will not be taking action, but we are serving this as a reminder. Our date and time for the public hearing on the wastewater treatment facility, we already had approved that January 17th, 2018. For the date will be March 7, 2018 at 4:30 in the afternoon. So we've already approved that, so we'll just use this time as a reminder of when that public hearing is. So, number 7 on our agenda then, we will briefly go over and review our 2018-2019 budget changes. Angie's gonna touch base on some of that for us.
Okay, so I've actually given you a complete new revenue report to replace your existing one. I found that in just doing a page or two, there was a couple of things that got missed. So when you import your budget numbers into the state's form, you sometimes have to change due to rounding. So there are some changes to all the commercial and industrial property tax replacements. We also changed the library's revenues by the $50,000 that's going to be transferred in from loss that was agreed at the last one. For expenses, we removed the $300,000 for the fire truck from the emergency services fund. And then the local option sales tax total expense increased by those handful of requests that you guys granted. So then those changes just affect the transfers in and out, the loss worksheets, and the balance estimates and things that you can replace in your book.
Okay. So we'll replace these with the worksheets. Anything further? Do you have anything further to share?
Not regarding these changes. One of the last items that the council wanted to look at would have been the capital requests from the police department regarding chairs and the garage doors. There are estimates that the chief did provide for those 2 items.
Whichever. Go ahead. Keep going.
So you're looking at for the garage doors. He had a placeholder of $10,000 in there. The actual cost is $5,350. That's to replace 3 garage doors and the garage door opener itself.
Wonderful.
And then he had $10,000 in office chairs. And again, these are rather large chairs to be able to accommodate the utility belts that the police officers wear. He had a budget estimate of $10,000, and he has a quote of $9,990. So right at
So
$10,000.
that's right
close.
for 10 chairs.
And then
I'd like to test one of those chairs.
the video cameras for the squads, the 3. We're still working on quotes, but the $30,000 is an adequate number to have in there for those numbers, or for that equipment replacement.
Thank you, Lyle. Thank you. Oh, the copier. Oh,
Copier.
is that in there too?
You have, oh, there it is.
I got one of that, so.
And then they had an office, you're looking at a purchase price of $4,460, and there was a price estimate placeholder of $10,000 in there, so significantly less.
7 initially, and then it went down to 5.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Lyle, for getting those for us.
So as a total, what does it look like compared to estimate to
Well,
what
chairs is
we
about
have
a
quotes
wash.
for? Yeah.
The, so 5350 versus 10, so what is that, 4660? That was fast. Yeah. And then the copier, how much did you say you had budgeted for that, Lyle? I'm sorry.
I think we had 10,000.
10, and it came in at 44. So that's about 10,000 less than what we had anticipated. So thanks for checking in and getting a little bit closer to what the actual numbers could be.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, discussion regarding the budget changes? Okay. Then we will move forward to setting the date and time for a public hearing. Number 8 on the agenda. We would like to set the public hearing on fiscal year 2018-2019 budget for a date of Wednesday, March 7, 2018 at 4:30 in the afternoon. Do we have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Support.
Thank you, gentlemen. And a roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Gales.
Aye.
Brewster.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Thank you. Number 9 on our agenda is staff reports. Anybody? Lyle, you want to go first? Thank you.
January numbers, we had 242 calls for service in the month of January. Again, those include a wide variety of things. We made 9 arrests, and again, those are for a variety of different things as well. We made 47 traffic stops. We had 14 accidents. Thankfully, they were all property damage accidents. We didn't have any injury accidents. We issued 9 citations and/or criminal charges. We made 12 incident reports. Again, that's for a variety of things as well. And investigations, I always have that as the last line. That's just a given. That's something that's always going on.
Doesn't stop.
So Lyle, in terms of these calls for service, is that average, above average?
You know, I should track that month to month because I think it was up quite a bit from your last month ones. That's really that's a hit or miss thing.
Sure.
You know, honestly, we probably don't do ourselves any favors when it comes to tracking calls for service because we really don't report a lot of things that we could. I mean, if we do a funeral assist, and we do many of those, you know, they're requesting assistance from us. We don't make a call for service on that. There's other things that we do that we don't actually make a call on. I guess I never really wanted to get involved with that game of trying to pad our numbers or make them look good or whatever, you know. But anytime that there's a call that's that's generated. It started with the county and it was requesting assistance from us for something or other. That's when an actual call for service is made.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Lyle. Todd?
We'll start with wastewater. Flows were down a little bit closer to what they should be. They averaged about 809,000 a day, and we didn't have a lot of peaks. The high flow for the month was 910,000, so then 100,000. So that was nice to see. Just a lot of normal stuff went on there. We dewatered again, a little more than the month before. We were 14 tons this month. We did have one guy in wastewater that was primarily a water employee / snow removal employee for the entire month of January. So we have the ability to do that at wastewater, and we take advantage of it in other departments quite often. Water averaged 775,000. Interesting fun fact, we pumped 336.4 million gallons of water out of our wells in 2017. The only reason I share is we have to put it on our yearly water use report. So,
How does it break down versus the deep and the shallows, or don't you have that?
I don't have. I mean, we have those numbers, but I don't have it in front of me. We probably were right around 50-50, if I had to guess, Greg, for the year. But I could pull the data to get exact numbers if you'd want.
What was that number again?
The water withdrawn,
Yeah.
336.4 million. We were permitted to take up to 495 million. We changed that a couple of years ago. Back in 2013, we asked for it to be increased because our old withdrawal permit didn't allow us to go over 440 million. And when back in 12, when we were in drought, we exceeded that number, so we asked for an increased amount from the DNR, and they granted it back then. It's paperwork. You've got to let them know how much you anticipate taking out of the ground. As I mentioned at the last council meeting, water employee Dave Andergad passed his grade 1 treatment and distribution. We had 3 main breaks, 2 service leaks that we were involved in to some extent or another. We did have quite a few calls in the month of January for frozen meters, low water complaints, low water pressure complaints, that kind of sort of thing. All of them were deemed to be internal or property owner type issues. Helped with snow removal as well. Did some maintenance in the plant. Made a few changes to our back T testing and reporting we have to do. Not sure I should share this or not, but I think we about hit a record in disconnects and shutoffs for the month of January. It was not a great month for that. Street department, a lot of it is based around snow removal and maintenance. We did have the one bigger storm in January, so that obviously took a little more of our time. Did a lot of ice blading, and it takes a lot of time by the time you go back and haul out all the cul-de-sacs and parking lots and so forth. We have been going through, I would say, a higher amount of ice control sand this winter than in some winters past. It's not really because we've been getting so much ice, but we've been getting a lot more nuisance snowfalls this year that don't necessarily require a full-fledged plow, but they do require some maintenance to keep the intersections a little safer, and that's caused us to use a little more sand than we have in the past, but nothing earth-shattering. Cemetery section, Rick, there hasn't been a lot going on in the cemetery, but I know Greg noticed because he mentioned it to me when he walked in. We do have Rick doing some general maintenance to the community building right now. You noticed when you walked up the steps, but we have some shiny floors and some not so shiny floors. He's in the process of trying to make our terrazzo floors out there look a little better. So he's been working up here a lot. I guess one other thing to note is we do have some pretty important bid dates coming up on projects. So March 2, our wastewater treatment plant goes to bid. That's here at 2 o'clock on March 2. So far, we had a pre-bid meeting on that last week. Fair amount of interest, fair amount of contractors showed up for that. The plan holders list is rather lengthy. That doesn't mean they're all going to bid, but at least shows there's interest in the project. March 5, the Floyd Industrial Park project bids, and April 17th, the 16th Street project goes out to bid. That one's a little later simply because there's federal dollars on there, so we have to follow the DOT bid dates. That's why it's in April, and we couldn't make, I forget what the previous one was, but we were not able to meet the schedule to get it on that one. So that's what I have, unless you have questions.
Is there a start and completion date on that 16th Street project?
So we put a completion date, I believe. I'll have to look it up to verify. I believe we put a completion date of like September 15 on it. The whole goal is to get it done prior to harvest loads coming in. Yeah. I mean, ideally, I'd love for it to start after school's out and be done before harvest starts. So,
And as we move a little bit closer, we'll send out letters alerting the residents.
yeah, we will. We'll have to
So they're
coordinate
aware
quite
of
closely.
the oncoming projects.
Because there will be some traffic interruptions there, not only for general people driving around, but for the people that live on there. There is some driveway work. There is, obviously, there'll be some, so.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. All right, and last on our agenda is comments. Any comments, Kurt? Anybody? Council coming up? John?
I just want to thank Ange again. Any small change made here trickles down through any number of funds, and making sure that all of the requests and made by council are contained in the budget in front of you. So she's done an admirable job of keeping up with that.
Thank you. I do not have any comments, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support?
Thank you. A roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Gales.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Brewster.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Thank you. We are adjourned.